How many of you really enjoy being out in the sun, but don't realize the true danger it represents? 1 in 5 Americans will develop skin cancer in the course of their lifetime, and although many of you might find this hard to believe, this statement is nonetheless true. Today I'm going to discuss with you the dangers of skin cancer. I myself have had several moles removed from my body, and luckily for me they were all benign, non-cancerous. However, I am still at a high risk for skin cancer considering my physical features and the number of moles I possess. I hope through my personal experiences and the information I share with you all today, you will maintain a more clear awareness of the dangers of the sun and will leave here with a better understanding of the risk you face when being overly exposed to it. The online encyclopedia defines skin cancer as a malignant growth on the skin which can have many causes. Skin cancer generally develops on the outermost area of the skin where a tumor is usually clearly visible. Skin cancer is the fastest growing cancer in the United States, and today I will inform you on its dangers. In the next short while, I will inform you on the 3 main types of skin cancer. Second, I will share with you causes of skin cancer and who's most at risk. And lastly, I will discuss ways to prevent and protect yourself from this deadly disease. First, let's take a look at some statistics and the 3 types of skin cancers ranging from the most common to the most deadly. Statistics show that nearly 1 million new cases of skin cancer will be diagnosed in the United States this year alone. And from those 1 million diagnosed, 8,420 will be deadly. The American Academy of Dermatology reports that 1 American dies from melanoma every hour in the U.S. alone. And out of those deaths, 5,400 are men and 3,020 are women. The AAD estimates that 1 in 5 Americans will develop skin cancer in their lifetimes. Now let's look at the 3 main types of skin cancers and discuss their differences. The most common form of skin cancer is basal cell carcinoma. This type of cancer accounts for more than 75% of skin cancers diagnosed and is the most commonly developed. These carcinomas are mostly found on the face, neck, and hands. It's highly treatable and rarely spreads to other parts of the body. Symptoms include a sore throat that oozes or bleeds, an area of redness that's irritated, a yellow whiter area that resembles a scar, and a pink pearly bump. Here is an example of a person with basal cell carcinoma who has been infected with this. And as you can see here, it's right underneath his nose. Squamous cell carcinoma is a more serious and usually found in the places on the body that has been exposed to the sun, like ears, the face, and the mouth. Symptoms include a bump that turns into an open sore if left untreated. It can spread quickly to other parts of the body. And as you can see from this visual aid, this bump indicates this man has a squamous cell carcinoma. As you can see, the pearly bump on his arm. Now for the most dangerous and deadly type of skin cancer, let's look at melanoma. This type of cancer can develop on any part of the body. However, if detected early, it is considered highly treatable. Symptoms include a mole, a freckle, or an existing spot that changes in color, size, and shape. And as you can see from the picture, this is an example of malignant melanoma. It's 2 different colors and about 2 centimeters in length. Secondly, let's look at some causes of skin cancer and determine who's most at risk. UV ultraviolet radiation from the sun is the main cause of skin cancer. This means that anyone who is exposed to the outside UV sun rays, including those who use indoor tanning beds, are at a greater risk for skin cancer. The UV rays damage DNA, the genetic material that makes up your genes. If the genetic damage is severe, a normal skin cell may begin to grow in the way of a cancer cell, causing you to get cancer. The UV rays can also be administered through the use of tanning beds, also causing sunburns and other damage that leaves the skin looking prematurely old and wrinkled. Now let's take a look at who's most likely to be at risk for skin cancer. Certain individuals have a higher risk than the rest of the population. And this includes people with fair complexions that burn or blister easy, people with blonde or red hair, people with blue or green eyes, people who are exposed to excessive sun during their childhoods, people with a family history of melanoma, people with more than 100 moles on their body, people who work outdoors, people that live in warmer climates, and people who use tanning beds regularly. Lastly, let's look at ways of protecting ourselves from the sun so we can prevent skin cancer from really harming any of us. If you're someone who fits the at-risk crowd for melanoma, it's important that you know what to look for. And one of the most common forms of detection is by remembering your ABCDs of melanoma. Now let's take a moment and refer to this visual aid I've prepared in order to help you understand what the ABCDs of melanoma are. As you can see here, A stands for asymmetry. And if you look over here, This is a benign, non-cancerous mole, and this is a malignant one, a cancerous one. As you can see, the symmetry is different from the benign one. B stands for border, and as you can see here, this one has an even border, and the border on this one is irregular with edges. So this one's obviously a cancerous mole. Now over here, C stands for color, and as you can see here, this is one color. Over here, this is two different shades. This is another detection. Over here, D stands for diameter, and as you can see here, this is one diameter. The diameter here is much larger. It's bigger than an eraser head, and this is another detection of a cancerous mole. And over here, E stands for evolving or changing. This is if you have one mole and it starts to turn into two or three. That's another detection for cancer. Now I would like to discuss ways of preventing skin cancer. The most important preventive method is to avoid sun exposure altogether. This will reduce the risk of a normal cell growing abnormally and becoming cancerous. Remember that little or no sun exposure is the best way of preventing skin cancer. However, if you are someone who enjoys the sun and loves a nice tan, then there are several other ways to protect yourself from the harmful UV rays of the sun. One good way is to avoid the sun from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. when the strongest of the sun's UV rays reach the Earth's surface. Watching what you wear is also important in shielding yourselves from the sun. Try wearing long sleeve clothing and hats made with light fabric to protect yourself while in the sun. And most important, be sure to wear protective sunblock with an SPF of 30 or higher. This will protect you from the strongest of the UV rays. Hopefully you will all leave here today with a better understanding of what skin cancer is and how we become infected and ways we can prevent it. Today I've discussed with you deadly forms of skin cancer, from their causes and symptoms to doctor-recommended prevention techniques. I've discussed this topic with all of you in hopes of making you more aware of the risk of too much sun exposure. My hope is you will all leave here today feeling enlightened with a clear understanding of what skin cancer is and the dangers it represents. So in conclusion, the next time you're outside playing, remember the danger that's lurking above your head, the sun. The sun has the power to kill you and should always remember to be extra careful and responsible when you're in its presence. Now that I have shared this topic with all of you, I would like each of you to have a pamphlet I picked up at the dermatologist's office. I hope all of you will find the time to read this and make the necessary lifestyle changes. And I want to thank you guys for all being here today and taking the time to listen to my speech on skin cancer.